huge match has been announced for AEW All Out, and top AEW stars are at breaking point. But first, Kota Ibushi is not expected to return to New Japan Pro Wrestling. The former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion hasn't been seen since last year's G1 Climax final, where he would suffer from a shoulder injury during his match with eventual winner Kazuchika Okada. Since then, Ibushi has called out New Japan management for their abuse, with him since being suspended and fined. Kota would even suggest that he'd been fired, although this appears not to have been the case. In an update to the situation provided by the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it was noted that talent in the promotion believe that Ibushi is not coming back, although with that said, nothing has been heard from Ibushi's side. The report follows recent tweets from Kota himself, where he hinted at a reunion with Golden Lovers partner Kenny Omega, as well as a run in All Elite Wrestling. Whether or not this happens remains to be seen, but AEW is likely his destination were he to eventually leave New Japan, a promotion that he once pledged his loyalty to. Next up, two AEW stars have signed brand new contracts. On August 16, 2021, it was announced that Jeff Parker and Matt Lee were officially All Elite, with them since going on to join the Jericho Appreciation Society under the names of Daddy Magic Matt Menard and Cool Hand Angelo Parker. Last night, it was confirmed by Fightful Select that the duo have now signed brand new contracts with the promotion. With it being 1 year since their first contracts were signed, it's likely that they were on 1 year deals, with them now set to stay for even longer. The two men have received praise from both fans and peers alike, with Fightful noting that those they heard from within the company say that they've been good to work with during their 1 year run. With them now being members of Chris Jericho's faction, they will continue to be featured on AEW television alongside Jake Hager, Daniel Garcia, Sammy Guevara, Ty Mello, and Anna Jay. But what do you make of Matt Menard and Angelo Parker signing brand new AEW deals? Let me know in the comments down below. Next up has the main event of AEW All Out been revealed. Earlier this week on AEW Dynamite, it was announced that there will be an undisputed AEW World Championship match between current World Champion CM Punk and the interim champion Jon Moxley. This was originally scheduled for the All Out pay-per-view on September 4th. With that said, following two heated confrontations between the two men during the episode, the match was moved forward to next week's AEW Dynamite, with this leaving fans to wonder what the main event of the upcoming pay-per-view will be. In the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, it was noted that the current plan is still the same, with Moxley set to take on Punk for both belts, and the Observer would report, currently, the 4th September All Out pay-per-view has CM Punk versus Jon Moxley for both belts. This is not announced and not 100%, but it is being talked about as the current plan, and there doesn't appear to be a backup plan. The moving of the match to next week did spark speculation of the return of MJF during or after the match, leading to a match between him and CM Punk at the pay-per-view, which did appear to be the plan before Punk's injury set things back and we had to have an interim champion. As of this recording, this appears to not be the case, with a draw or no contest seemingly more likely. With that said, this could be a case of MJF's return being kept under lock and key, but I guess we'll just have to wait until Wednesday to find out how things play out. Next up, a Ring of Honor World Championship match has been announced. Last night on AEW Rampage, Claudio Castagnoli would find out who his next challenger will be for the ROH belt, as during the show he would make his way to the ring alongside Blackpool Combat Club stablemate and ROH Pure Champion Wheeler Yuta. Claudio, who was in the ring with street clothes, said that he would feel much more comfortable wearing his ring gear instead, with him wanting to put his title on the line like a true fighting champion. He then proceeded to issue an open challenge for next week's episode of Rampage, before a voice could be heard over the speaker system saying, "I will." He would then be confronted by Dustin Rhodes, who accepted the challenge, with the match now being official. Claudio Castagnoli has held the ROH World title since Death Before Dishonor in July, where he defeated Jonathan Gresham for the belt, and he has since made just one defense at the AEW Battle of the Belts free event on August 7th, where he defeated the always impressive Konosuke Takeshita. This will be Dustin's first singles match since April 20th, where he took on CM Punk on Dynamite, and his first title match since January 1st at the inaugural Battle of the Belts event. Next up, a former Impact champion has been removed from the roster. Last night, eagle-eyed fans spotted that Tenille Dashwood, the former Emma in WWE, is no longer listed on the Impact Wrestling website as a roster member, leading to speculation that she is now a free agent. Dashwood would last wrestle for the promotion on the July 2nd television taping in Atlanta, Georgia, where she would lose in a match against Masha Slamovich. She's been with Impact Wrestling since July 2019, this following a run on the Independents and Ring of Honor after after her WWE release in October 2017. She's often credited as one of the originals of the WWE Women's Revolution, playing a vital part in the early days of NXT during her feud with Paige, with a more serious take on women's wrestling having a ripple effect through NXT and later the main roster. The one-time Knockouts Tag Team Champion now appears to be a free agent, although she is yet to comment on the matter, with her future in wrestling remaining a mystery. And next up, a huge AEW match has been confirmed. On September 4th, All Elite Wrestling will host the next pay-per-view, All Out, from the Now Arena in Chicago, Illinois. During last night's broadcast of AEW Rampage, it was announced that a casino ladder match will be taking place at the show, with a shot at the AEW World Championship up for grabs. So far, there's been 2 of these matches in AEW history, with Brian Cage winning the first before failing to defeat Jon Moxley, with Hangman Page winning the second one, going on to defeat Kenny Omega at Full Gear in November last year. The competitors for the match have yet to be announced, although there will likely be qualifying matches held over the coming weeks to fill the spots. Typically, the final entrant is kept as a mystery, which will probably be the case once again this time around. But who do you want to see enter as the surprise opponent, and who do you want to win the whole thing? Let me know in the comments down below. And finally, top AEW stars are said to be at breaking point. This week, news broke that CM Punk took a detour live on television on AEW Dynamite to take a dig at former AEW World Champion Hangman Page, with him calling him out for a rematch from Double or Nothing, knowing he wasn't scheduled to appear, before calling Page a coward on air. And he then said, "A little bit of advice that I suggest you take. The apology must be as loud and as public as the disrespect." There is said to be real-life heat between the two men, with Punk feeling disrespected by some of Hangman's promo material leading into their prior match for the title, with him feeling he went into business for himself by referring to Punk's broken friendship with Colt Cabana. It seems that Hangman holds Punk responsible for Cabana's disappearance from AEW television, with him not appearing in months, with him seemingly removed from the Dark Order. There is now more confirmation that the treatment of Cabana is the crux of this, with Dave Meltzer taking to the Wrestling Observer newsletter to write, "Right now there is a ton of backstage drama involving many of the top guys that has gotten much worse in recent weeks. There's a part of me where I just think Tony Khan needs to sit everyone down and air everything out before it gets worse. The big thing that started all this is that Colt Cabana is not in the Dark Order with no angle and stopped being brought to television. He was going to be cut, but Khan signed him for Ring of Honor. This is really the catalyst of everything, although different people have different stories as to why it happened, including Page and Punk. But even if that didn't happen, it was probably going to happen for something else, just given the nature of different personalities involved. It feels like a number of people are close to their breaking point if things don't get settled." It seems that it's not just Hangman and Punk who are at odds backstage, with there appearing to be heat between FTR, who are friends with Punk, and the Elite, who are friends with Hangman. Let's take a quick look at Kenny Omega's speech after Dynamite this past week, a show that saw him return to the ring for the first time since November. And Kenny would tell the crowd in attendance, "We're not pretending to be somebody that we're not. We're not a tribute act. We're not a parody. We're not selfish. And we're not in this for selfish means and for selfish gains. We are here to leave a legacy, and that legacy isn't titles. It's not even match ratings. It's not even how much money we make for our families and ourselves. It is changing the world via changing the wrestling world and the way you guys consume it." FTR's Cash Wheeler would then react to the speech by posting this photo on Twitter of himself and his tag team partner, with the caption simply reading "Tribute Act." It's also worth pointing out that the tweet was liked by AEW TNT champion Wardlow, who seems to be on their side. It seems that Omega's promo was a shot at FTR and maybe Punk, with all 3 of them known to do tributes to Bret Hart and other legends during their matches, with the selfish line perhaps aimed at Punk in response to his call out of Hangman earlier in the night. Let's also remember that Hangman told Punk heading into Double or Nothing that they won't be having a masturbatory Bret Hart tribute match. This during the week Punk wasn't at the show. Fightful recently reported that Punk had an issue with this promo, although this specific line wasn't listed. Let's also remember Dax Harwood's recent shot at Dave Meltzer on Twitter, where Meltzer would imply that the idea that the Young Bucks have been holding FTR down is a conspiracy theory, with Dax feeling very different, and he would respond, "Dave, with all due respect, fuck off. Like, in the most respectful and loving way, I mean that. When you decide to get 2 sides of a story, then speak on it. Thanks, dude." Tying all this together, you'd have to imagine that the two sides of this major heat is Punk, FTR, and maybe even Wardlow on one side, with the Elite and its former members on the other. Each side certainly has their own idea of what wrestling should be, with Omega and the Bucks having a more fast-paced modern indie style as opposed to the others, whose style is much more grounded in elements of the old school, and it's easier to see how they might come at odds with different ideas of what AEW's product should be. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 wrestlers you forgot wrestled in AEW.